Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture. Bring on the host, Sam, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs.
Hello everyone, I'm Sam, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs, and you are listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio, a rock and roll show all about pets, people, and pop culture. I'm live from Las Vegas, and today I'm talking about the wildlife at Chernobyl, dry shampoo, and more, so stay right there. Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Sam, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs, and I'm glad that you're here. It's going to be a great show today. Lots to talk about. Not a theme, but it's kind of going to be random. But if you're listening into the show live today, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new to the show and you want to connect with us in other areas on the internet, here's how you do it. Our website is vegasrockdogradio.com. Now, on that website, you can click listen live, you can listen to archive shows, and you can find out who's coming on the show, who's been on the show. Really easy. You will find us periodically popping up. It makes sense, popping up on Periscope. Of course, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, Instagram, and our blog is therockandrolldog.com. We also have an app, and the app is the Yap app. You'll go to yap.us, and it's free. Download that from the iTunes store, and then download our show onto your app. And, of course, we're in iTunes, because who's not in iTunes these days? And you'll find the show under Vegas Rock Dog Radio. And you'll also find our mini micro show, the Pet Tip of the Day. And that's where we give you a tip that helps you be a great pet parent and help you save money, tips for your pets for health, safety, you name it, we put it on there. And, of course, you'll find us on iHeartRadio. That's another very, very popular app for listening to the show after we've gone live. So what we do is we go live and then we throw the show up onto a million platforms. In fact, Jim, we are going to be on a brand new platform this week.
Our millionth platform coming up.
The millionth one, yeah. Don't say that too fast when you've been out late, and we've been out late last night. We might talk about that. We're going to be popping up on the Spoke app, and it's Sirius XM people.
For people who spoke for a living.
You spoke for a living. I spoke for a living, so Spoke, S-P-O-K-E. It is in beta testing mode right now, but you can still...
That's beta for the Americans listening.
That's okay.
I have to translate.
We have an international audience, so between the two of us, I think we might get this covered as far as these pronunciations. So yeah, that's a Spoke app, and you can actually request to download that app from the iTunes store. So very, very happy about that. And this is going to blow your mind, Jim. This is I forgot to even tell you this. So I'm listening to some of the shows on the Spoke app, to get a feel for the platform itself. And I just left it playing on my phone all night, yeah? Right. I wake up about 2, I'll tell you exactly when I woke up. So I took a screenshot. And I woke up and I thought, I know this voice. I know this person's voice. It's very, very familiar. Well, that person's voice happened to be Alicia Halloran from Healing Habitat. Oh. She's Odie's Eyes mom. And it was 2:53 a.m. and I woke up and I thought, hang on a minute here. Am I dreaming? And someone else, of course, has got their show on the Spoke app, and she was a guest on someone else's show. But of all the shows and all the episodes I've been listening to all day, all night, I wake up right when she was on. I need to tell her. I haven't had a chance to tell her about that. So, yeah, we were out late. I don't know. What was it, 2 o'clock by the time we got in bed or something like that?
I don't know. I had a bizarre evening. I don't have
You
any
did
sense of time.
bizarre evening. In fact, it seems more bizarre now that we're actually a bit more awake. We went over to our friend's house, Pam and Eddie, with a lot of our animal-loving friends. And, excuse me, it's my turn to cough this week. And it was late, of course, and Eddie had gone to bed, and Jim had been asleep most of the night anyway on the couch outside by the pool.
It was cold outside yesterday.
So the girls were stayed outside. We had our blankets, and we were just chit-chatting, and the fire was on. And Jim says, well, I'm going to go in. So he was asleep on the couch for the longest time. Anyway, I said to him, come on, let's go. We need to go. So he gets up. Now, he acted like he was drunk. I mean, you'd not had a drink at all, but sometimes you do that when you're tired, don't you? You act like you're drunk, you don't know where you are, you're disoriented. And so he went to the bathroom. Next thing you know, it sounds like an explosion went off in the bathroom. Like, whoa, what's that noise? Clattering and banging. So we look at each other, and Pam goes to the bathroom.
How much time went by?
Not long.
Like minutes?
Well, no, not even as long as that. But the weird thing is Pam went to the bathroom. She goes, Jim, are you okay? No answer. Strange. So I go to the door and I say, Jim, are you all right? Are you breaking the bathroom in there? And he goes, ugh. That's all I hear. I'm like, oh, he's okay.
You had no idea.
No idea. Because what had happened, Jim? What had happened?
I went into the bathroom to go to the bathroom. And I have lost track of time at that point. I was there facing the toilet. And the next thing I knew, I was in a dream.
Yeah.
I don't know what my dream was. I can't recall it. And then I was on the floor between the bathroom and the the toilet and the vanity cabinet.
Which is not a lot of space.
And my hand was in the toilet water. I was on the floor, out cold. I've never fainted in my life.
Yeah.
And I passed out, and I lost track of time.
And we kind of left him there to recover, not knowing what was going on. So that was very bizarre.
I don't know if I broke anything in her bathroom.
Well, you better call Pam and say,
No.
hey, is there anything broken in your bathroom? Because I did it. I know we're laughing. It was bizarre.
It's not even funny.
It was bizarre.
I have no recollection of I don't know if it was a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes of my life that are gone.
You were in there about 5 minutes, I would say, after the clatter, bang, crash noise, and then grunting.
Have no explanation.
And I just thought, well, sometimes you wake up and you don't know where you are, and I just thought it was like that. So we'll have to monitor you from now on, Mr. Chim.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I lost. There's I don't know, maybe aliens came and took me or something.
Maybe they did, Jim, but yeah, I know, and I've never known you to faint or collapse or anything like that.
I have no explanation.
No.
As a matter of fact, I'm bothered now.
Oh, yeah, and I think you do need to text Pam. Say, hey, did I did hear, I thought you'd taken the top of the toilet off. So I'm wondering if that was you maybe grabbing hold of that as you
were falling to the ground. Who knows if I cracked my head or anything?
Well, I asked you that last night. Do you have any bumps on your head? Did you check your head?
I don't have any pains.
Do you have any bruises?
I don't think so.
You're fine then.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's great.
So that was that. But it was a nice night. We all got to catch up and eat some food. And I made a strawberry galette that went down a treat. In fact, Pam loved it that much. She ate all the crust off it first. and then a friend Brandy arrived. And she must have thought, what kind of pastry is this? It's got no crust. Well, Pam had nibbled it off all the edges. I thought it was funny. But that tells me then that they enjoyed it. Now, talking about baking and cooking, I've noticed a little trend on Twitter. It's got nothing to do with animals. And that is people asking Gordon Ramsay what he thinks of their meals that they've cooked. And so I did. I have not got a reply as yet. And people are going, Gordon Ramsay, what do you think of my strawberry galette? Gordon Ramsay, what do you think of my da-da-da-da? And some of the answers were hilarious. One was like, cat sick was one of them. One was, I bet you burnt your house down after you burnt that food down. And so I'm hoping I get something complimentary about my strawberry galette. Let's see. But that's going to be a big, big trend on Twitter right now. So, well, I've got a couple of updates for everybody. And I love it when my friends adopt animals. I love it. So last week, there were 2 adoptions. And one was my sister. I think I might have mentioned it last week. Feisty 2 Socks, her cat, beautiful black and white cat. And Feisty 2 Socks, she's got 2 long white socks on her back legs. And she's really, really gorgeous. And although she was a feral cat, my sister was telling me this, and she was brought into the shelter and deemed to be in a position to be adopted, which is wonderful because they do work with the cats. She was then up for adoption, and my sister said there's no way this cat was wild because she had no transition period whatsoever. She walked into that house like she owned it and settled herself in and enjoyed all the attention and just like she'd been there forever. So my sister said she's just a dream, and it's just been wonderful to have her because my sister did lose 2 of her cats. And so now was the time. And I was really excited about that. And I did have a premonition last week that she was going to get another cat. So that made me happy. Then I got tagged in another very happy post, and that was with Mark Kevius. Now, Mark Kevius is a singer here in town. He's in the show that Jim's in, Frankie Moreno's show. And he has a pit bull, his first pit bull, and his name is Grammy. And he kept saying, I'm looking for a friend. I said, the dog it'll just come along, the right dog. Well, sure enough, Ivy showed up. And she is an American bulldog.
Bulldog, yeah.
Yeah, American bulldog. So Ivy got a new home this week and a new brother. So that made me super, super happy. So I get to see Markevius tonight, and we get to gush all over Ivy. Now, here's another announcement. Our little friend, baby Roger, he's a boxer. Well, he's 5 years old today. And his mum and dad were with us last night, Sam and Dennis. And they said, we got to get going. I said, oh, no, stay out with us. I said, I have to prepare for his birthday because we've got photos in the morning. It was great. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's okay for you to leave then. That's fine. So happy birthday to baby Roger, 5 today. And baby Roger is a blood donor. So if you've listened to the show before, you will have heard the show that we talked about the veterinary emergency critical care clinic here in town. They have a blood donor program. And he is one of the heroes, and it's a wonderful thing. In fact, Jim, I don't know if you saw this, but last week they called her and said, is there any chance baby Roger can come in? We do have kind of an emergency case where we need to do blood transfusion straight from Roger.
I knew he did that, yeah.
Straight from Roger into another dog. Typically he goes in and they take his blood regularly and obviously store that. But this was literally a from dog to dog transfusion. Amazing.
Yeah.
So he deserves a wonderful, wonderful birthday today. 5 years old, baby Roger. And they're always our baby. I don't care how old they are, they're always our baby, and I love that. So let's talk about, and this is a really kind of out there topic, Chernobyl. Let's talk about Chernobyl and the wildlife at Chernobyl and what happened after Chernobyl happened. Yeah. So do you know the history of Chernobyl, Jim?
Of course I know the history of Chernobyl. It was the greatest, I shouldn't say greatest, but it's the most significant nuclear power plant failure the world's ever seen. The largest radiation blast from a failure at a nuclear power plant the world's ever seen. And
how many years ago was that now? 30 years ago?
30 plus now, yeah. In Chernobyl, Russia, Ukraine, I guess.
And it just obliterated everything. They got people out of the area, didn't they?
Right, yeah. They became a no-go zone, or they called it an exclusion zone. The area around Chernobyl, the woodlands, the forest, the city itself, everything became just
wasteland.
A wasteland,
didn't it?
Yeah,
just gone, destroyed. And then you wonder what happens next, because the wildlife, of course, you can't gather up all the wildlife and say, come with us. Well, it just so happens that the wildlife is thriving, isn't it, Jim?
It's unbelievable. I read some reports there was a lot of studies that went on in 2016 in Chernobyl. National Geographic and some other news agencies had spent time there. The Telegraph, and there's actually ChernobylGuide.com. Where you that goes more toward the mutants from radiation, but there's a lot of components to what's
mutant people or mutant animals.
No, mutant people. There's no such thing as mutant.
No, but you know what I mean. Because the fallout, of course. I mean, how far does that go?
I don't see where we knew how far it went there, but it's wide ranging, and then when you add wildlife into the mix that migrate and move around the place, there's effects on it. But
I think what's crazy, what is you think to yourself, well, it was just obliterated, and it's radioactive wasteland. Yet wildlife managed to thrive, and now I don't think they've done any studies actually on the animals themselves to see, is there a high incidence of cancers or deformities or anything like that?
Well, in 2016, there was a study, and the population of large mammals on the Belarus side of Chernobyl has increased since the disaster.
Yeah, it's just...
they did a 5-week survey, and camera traps captured bison, boars, badgers, gray wolves, raccoon dogs, and 10 red foxes. I mean, and like 21 boars, 26 wolves, 60 raccoon dogs.
I mean, you wonder what the heck they were surviving on.
They don't believe that radiation is holding back the wildlife population.
Well, yeah, I know. It's just incredible, really. It's just, they evacuated over 100,000 people out of that area. Yeah, it was 30 years. Gosh, it feels like it was yesterday. Doesn't it just, wow, whoa, how does time go by so fast?
And they did something interesting in 98 there, too. I'm reading about now, and I didn't know this until just now, but in 1998, they were trying to save a species of horse from extinction. And so they introduced it into the Chernobyl zone in 1998.
Oh.
Because there were no humans to affect them.
That was a big part of them thriving, is the fact there's no humans there, that kill them off or take their space. This horse population
has been increasing, getting bigger. What are these horses? They're called
moose. They're
called Przewalski's horse.
I've never heard of them.
Almost an extinct animal.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
In the Chernobyl zone, they're increasing.
I'd be scared to do any kind of research in that area.
I don't think you're allowed to go in there.
Well, I'm seeing a picture of a man here.
Is he in a radiation suit?
No, he's not. Billy Bob's got just an anorak on. I don't know. Well, I don't know how far they are. Well, let's have a look at this. Although the resurgence in wildlife is in the zone is widely acknowledged, it's still little understood. Mike Wood and Sergei Gashchak set up a camera trap. So I don't know how far out. That scares me a little bit, though. I wouldn't go there. But no, they're not in any kind of protective suits. But very, very interesting. Did you say... Now, this is what I'm reading off on the Telegraph. Did you say there's something on National Geographic?
Yeah, National Geographic. What is them?
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Animals Rule Chernobyl 3 decades after nuclear disaster.
Very interesting. Well, I think it's probably a combination of things. Is one, the human aspect of it is, we know when humans are present, animals are pushed out of their natural environments, or they're hunted, those kind of things. Obviously, that's a contributing factor to their survival. But what the heck are they eating?
Well, the Russians also have security guards that purposely keep people and poachers away from the exclusion zone to not interact with the animals, to leave them be.
Incredible, isn't
it?
So
that's pretty advanced for that part of the world, to be thinking like that.
It looks like there are some kind of bus tours that they do. I mean, you can go so far.
So here's what you asked me earlier. The exclusion zone in Ukraine and Belarus is almost 1,600 square miles.
Oh.
Make it one of the truly largest wild animal sanctuaries in Europe. Making one of the truest.
You would never think from that nuclear disaster that then this would became a sanctuary. there's obviously a lot to study there, and I think it's very, very interesting. I'm more interested in, have they, how are they going to monitor these animals and test them, and see if there are any kind of health issues with them related to the area that they've grown up in. It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, and it said the serious mutations happen only right after the accident.
So then
there's still radiation everywhere there. I mean, it's going to last for thousands of years, but the mutations they noticed immediately, and they don't see effects of it long term.
I wonder what's going to happen with the is it the Fukushima plant, because that's still leaking, isn't it?
Well, they'll be learning there what they've
From
already learned at Chernobyl.
That's pretty scary too. I know they were sending in those robots, I guess, to go in and monitor, and they were, I don't know whether they're blowing up or disintegrating. So yeah, they
said here that they're racking up the radiation, the measurement, the cesium, which is really the dangerous radioactive material. They said that amount of cesium has dropped by half in the 30 years since the accident, and it's decayed into lesser dangerous barium.
So it actually changes over time.
Mm-hmm. It's like a mechanical process.
Really?
Radiation, yeah. I remember learning about it in school growing up.
Very, very interesting. I just, not in a million years did I think Chernobyl would then become this wildlife sanctuary where they'll be able to study, and some good will probably come out of it in the end. But there's a lot of people that they evacuated out of that area. Were people affected? I assume you would be. I mean, think about it. We had the atomic testing here in Nevada. If you've not seen some of that footage, it's kind of shocking, because it became a tourist attraction type thing. You go and see the bombs go off, and just put your sunglasses on and make sure you're not, what do they call it, downstream from the wind and the fallout. But that fallout went across the entire country. It reached New York, it reached LA. They would have days when it just looked like it was overcast and smoggy, and that was the fallout. So they were doing some testing, I think, not quite knowing how dangerous that was. And there's very high incidence of cancer in Utah, correct, Jim?
Yeah, they called downwinders. That's what they were called from the nuclear testing in the 50s.
And you know what they did, and I didn't like this. It really upset me watching the footage. They used a lot of animals for testing, and it was just, I couldn't take it. That was just really, really upsetting. But very, very interesting, though, about Chernobyl. Very interesting. So National Geographic is probably the place to go if you want to read up more or actually watch something. Well, Jim, I think we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture. Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
At Carl's Jr., not only do we make you happy with our delicious charbroiled burgers, but we also make your dogs happy. When you come through our drive-thru with your furry friend, we'll offer your dog a treat. If not, always ask for one. We love to see their smiling faces. Our website, carlsjroflasvegas.com, has a treat for its customers too, with free coupons anytime, so be sure to visit us regularly. Carl's Jr. is a proud and active supporter of dog adoption in our community. You can find us at Carl's Jr. of Las Vegas or on Twitter at Carl's Jr. of Vegas.
Pet Scene Magazine is dedicated to Las Vegas pets and the people who love them. It's a source of news and information for pet lovers, as well as offering valuable coupons and specials on pet products and services. Find them online at www.lvpetscene.com or look for them on Facebook.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the Queen of Rock and Roll Dogs. And we've got our two little monkeys in the studio. I'm not talking about Jim. He's the third one. We've got Mr. Twix, and we've got...
I'm not a monkey. I'm a zombie today.
Mr. Thornton, and Miss Galaxy is in heaven looking down to see if we're doing the show the way we should do it, as we've done for all these years. Well, my next topic is... Auctioning animals. Ooh, it's one of those things that, as we like to say, gets my goat. Have you heard about that? Heard that before, Jim?
I know about getting someone's goat.
Get my goat. Auctioning animals. We recently had in town, and gosh, it's so exhausting, this topic, but I have to talk about it because it is important. An event here in town where they auctioned off rescue animals. And they were auctioning off the rescue animals to benefit the shelter. So it's been going on for years, and I see this all over the country. And I wanted to address why we should not be auctioning off animals at events. I mean, there are many, many reasons. As you know, I do not like animals being used for profit, and I don't like animals being used, period. And not to use them for profit and not to use them for entertainment. So that covers a lot of things. It covers circus, dolphins, selfies with tigers.
We're not talking about like livestock auctions from the commercial food industry.
Livestock auctions are legal.
Yeah, because that's a different kind of auction we're talking about.
I mean, I think the more you get into, I think animal advocacy it's a very big topic, and there are many ways that you can be involved in it. But I will say this, when people first start coming into, say, for example, let's take animal rescue. So you come into animal rescue because you love animals, yeah. You may not think auctioning off an animal is that bad because you go, oh, but it helps bring money in, which helps more animals, yeah. But the longer you spend in animal advocacy, the more you think about animals and how we interact with them and how we fit into their lives or they fit into our lives and society, and you do start changing how you feel. So think about this, and I don't care whether it's legal or not. I'm vegetarian, so I don't need to see any animal auctioned off, be it a cow, a pig, a dog for an event. I'm like, don't need to see that. Not important. Doesn't need to happen. So you can see where the levels come. But I think it comes in time. It's like someone that goes, I'm going to be vegetarian, and because they love animals, and then they go, well, let's go a little bit deeper. Oh, maybe I need to go vegan. I feel I need to go vegan. So when you become vegan, then definitely you would look at auctioning of any animal as being a no-no. Definitely a no-no, because it's not necessary. I don't eat them, so I don't see why we need to do this. And I think people evolve and change as the more that they're in animal advocacy. Well, not just animal advocacy. I mean, people just have a conscience sometimes and say, I don't want to eat animals. And then it leads to thinking about them in a different way. You know, am I going to wear leather shoes? Am I going to have am I looking at cosmetics that have been tested on animals? So you can see there's a lot of tentacles, as we like to say, to animal advocacy. And I think everybody's journey is their journey. There's no point getting mad at someone, say, that saves animals and eats bacon, because you don't know what their journey is going to be. It may be a time where they never even helped an animal. So I think you have to let them make their journey. And if you are going to talk to people about, say, becoming vegan, or like I'm going to talk about today, not auctioning animals, you have to do it in a way that's very open and makes them comfortable about talking about it, not lecturing. You can't lecture people about this stuff because we all make our own minds up when we want to make our minds up and when we're ready. So here we go. So this is position I'm in is I don't like animals in entertainment, and I don't think anyone should be using them for entertainment to make money, because more than likely there is some level of, if it's not abuse, it's still not natural. It's not natural for dolphins to jump through hoops of fire. It's not natural for dogs to walk on their back legs with their front legs on the back of another dog who's walking on its back legs. It's not natural. So you've got to think about welfare and what conditions they're in. So that's what I just don't like any of
If they
them.
do that by themselves and they're playing, that's one thing.
Well, I mean, my Thornton, she wheezes on doing a handstand. So she's on her two front legs.
That's her natural
That's
talent.
a natural talent. We didn't teach her that. That's how she wee-wees, yeah? So if it's natural, and we can all tell when it's natural. So for me, personally, I don't want to see any animals used for any entertainment, and certainly not to profit off them. at the expense of them not living in natural life in natural habitat and not being trapped properly. So this is why I don't like animals being auctioned off. There are many reasons. First of all, you're auctioning off to the highest bidder. And this is a statement I wrote last week because it just irritates me whenever I see these kind of events pop up. And this is what I wrote. I said, auctioning shelter dogs at a shelter fundraiser for profit is wrong. It's bad enough a dog ends up at the shelter, let alone a shelter using a dog and giving it as a prize to the highest bidder. They are not products. Would you auction off a child at a children's charity? I know it's a bit extreme. Of course you wouldn't. We frown at people buying dogs from pet stores. We frown upon that. And we frown about people going to dolphin shows and whale shows. But for some reason, the same people that frown about, don't buy from a pet store, adopt, don't shop, will think it's okay to auction off an animal because they think about the money. And I think that's where there's a big disconnect with this kind of fundraising. My suggestion is you need to get creative. Take the animals out of the equation. Get creative. Bring in prizes that are very popular, that people will want to bid on, and bring in a lot of money, because you don't have to do it off the backs of shelter animals, because their lives are bad enough when they end up at the shelter. It's bad enough that they're there. Now you're going to use them. So that's my stance on that. Here's the other thing. You're bidding to the highest bidder. Is that the best home? Is that a good match? You're not doing a home inspection, so how would you even know whether this is a good home? How do you know that person's not going to turn around and flip that dog and put it up on Craigslist and sell it for a lot more? You don't know any of this, particularly puppies. And of course, lots of people love puppies, but when they get them home, they're a lot of work. It's like a baby. And then next thing you know, they're turned back into a shelter or they're abandoned. So there are many, many risks associated with this kind of fundraising, and it just needs to go away. It turns my stomach. If I find out any event that I'm going to is going to auction an animal, I'm not going. I will not go. I'll not be a part of that. I don't want to witness that. It's very, very upsetting. And I can't believe it's still going on. It's like, this was happening decades ago. Stop. Just stop, people. So think about that if you are doing fundraising. And as I say, shelters do it. Big corporations do it. They all of a sudden they show up with a puppy with a big bow on its neck. And and people go mental for it. And we're saying they're products. You can just buy one. And no thought to the wellness of the dog and the right match. And it's so important. So that's my 2 penneth about that. And I always say, it's frowned upon, say no to animal auctions, and never use animals for profit. Do you agree, Jim?
Completely.
It's horrible, isn't it? It just turns my stomach. I just can't take it. I'm like, this is terrible. Don't do this to animals. I say it's bad enough they end up at the shelter. That's a terrible situation. Who dumped them? They're frightened. Next thing you know, you're going to put them up in front of a big clapping, cheering, screaming audience, which is even more distressing. I mean, how is that even? Just from a wellness perspective, it's terrible.
Well, we're getting into the gray area of how the laws are written and what people get away with.
Well, that's it. I think it's always so much easier when there's a law in place that says, no, you can't do that. And I don't think we have any auctioning laws. I think it's only for cattle in Nevada. And I can easily take a look at that and do a little follow-up. And I do have wonderful friends who work on these laws and brand new laws and changing existing laws so that we can get into this century, because some of them, oh my gosh, some of these laws are ridiculously old. Very, very old. They're not science-based, a lot of laws. And it's to me, frankly, it's quite shocking, really. I mean, think about it now. We're now reading more and more about spay-neuter, yeah? And I think our law is by 4 months you've got to get that done here. But now there's a lot of research that is not a good thing to do for your pet's health. You're cutting off the endocrine system entirely and causing all manner of health issues down the line. So we probably need to update our laws. There's a certain period where if you're going to spay neuter, it probably should be at this age. not at 4 months when they're still developing. So, there's a lot of laws on the books, and there's a lot of old laws, and there's a lot of laws that need a revision. Not easy to do. Takes time, takes money, takes manpower, and if you're going to put research behind it, you have to do that as well. So, I say I don't think I'm pretty familiar with our animal laws here. I wish they were just really stronger than they already are.
Well, then, if they got smart and made smart laws, they would reduce the shelter populations,
Yeah.
There's industry, there's big business, there's spheres of influence involved, and it's,
Yes.
you got to play on a big ball field with some of these people.
Yeah, you do. Well, I think that's with any industry. When laws start coming into place, they're hard to go up against sometimes because you don't know who's behind funding bills and laws, and it's really hard. But and what's frustrating, I look at other countries and how they're doing animal rescue and shelters and adoptions, and I think it's Germany. It's probably got one of the most stringent programs when it comes to adopting a pet, right down to how much space do you have at home. If you're going to use a crate, they can only be in X amount of time. See, that's another thing too. Crates are a big thing here in the States. I don't see many of my friends in England using a crate, period. I just don't. It's just not something that they do. But Germany's very, very stringent, and it's wonderful. It's fantastic. Now, I know people here will be like, don't tell me what I have to do to get a pet. Well, I think we kind of need to, because it's very loose, isn't it? Our laws are very, very loose. We don't have regulation we don't have any kind of regulation or inspection, to my knowledge, in Nevada for rescues. Oh, and we need it.
Well, and I think there should be another positive spin too, rather than just an enforcement viewpoint. Okay, you're going to get a dog. We're going to scrutinize you. We're going to look you over. We're going to ask you a ton of questions. I think that there needs to be some kind of a positive spin, like a public outreach approach, where the continuing education, it happens in the schools and the public community centers and things like that.
Yeah, we don't have enough.
Where you just keep repeating the positive of animal welfare and animal care. You kind of drill it in with public service announcements and posters in parks and things like that. So you kind of change people's mind. It's like a big ship, and you got to steer it slowly. You can't just, combat it, but you have to win it over. I
have to agree. I don't feel... Look, we don't even have any commercials, knowing how hot we are here for most of the year. We don't have a single PSA that runs on TV. It's me and it's other animal rescues that put this information out that say, do not leave your pet in a hot car. We don't even have it for do not leave your children in a hot car, and people still do it. You're right. The education needs to happen. It needs to happen where we see PSAs. We need to have, I think there needs to be a school program.
We have amazing parks and recreation where we live here.
Oh, we do.
Clark County,
Phenomenal.
City of Henderson, North Las Vegas, City of Las Vegas. We've got great parks. As a matter of fact, in Henderson, when you buy a house, you're usually within a mile or a mile and a half of a city park.
Oh, we have an incredible park system here.
So, the park system can be the place where you take advantage of, poster board, announcements, PSAs and things like that, where you reach the people.
I don't see any of it. I want to see my city not have petting zoos at every single city event. I can't take it. I don't want to see that. It's cruel. There's ponies attached to that awful wheel thing going around for hours and then on concrete. We're boiling hot out here. It's terrible. Really terrible. It puts me off a lot of the events here in town. I will reach out and say, are you having a petting zoo? Are you having the ponies there? And I think they think I'm asking because yay. And then if the city gets back to me, because I don't know what happened to City of Henderson's social media presence. The presence is there. They never reply to anyone. Never. Or they only reply to the ones that aren't asking a hard question. And it's very frustrating. And I would like, when I ask and, if they say yes, I say, it's something I can't attend. I cannot attend that and be a part of that. So, yeah, we've got a long way to go. I think PSA, school, and, our cities themselves being a great example to how much we care about animals. Because currently the people who are doing it are people like myself, anyone in animal rescue and animal advocacy. And yeah, we're doing the work of that. Right now, we've got our Hot Cars Kills campaign going on. And basically, we have a template. I'll pop it back up on Vegas Rock Dog Radio. And basically, you download the template and use an app like Pic Collage and then add a picture of you and your pet, and you take the pledge. I will never leave my pet in a hot car. And we did very, very well with it last year. We're right back into the high temps again. So we're pushing it once more. We'd love you to get on board with that. And I'll throw that up on Facebook for you. It's, yeah, got a long way to go, but we keep on pushing and we keep on pushing. So what else do I want to talk about? You know what? Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio with me, Sam, your host, the queen of rock and roll dogs.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Welcome to Barking Dogs Self-Wash and Grooming, your one-stop shop for all of your pet's needs. We offer premium natural pet foods, full-service grooming, and an on-site bakery and boutique. You can choose to self-wash your dog or schedule a luxury pampering with our professional groomers. Our new Cool Cat section offers feline food, toys, bedding, and litter, while the adventurous dog department has everything you need for your outdoor activities. Cody's Healing Garden is a special place featuring flower, aromatherapy, and herbal remedies for pets. Ask us about Karma Connection, our program supporting animal rescue. Find us at barkingdogslv.com and look for us on Facebook and Twitter. We look forward to seeing you at Barking Dogs Self-Wash and Grooming.
Hello, this is Jim and Sam from Vegas Rock Dog.
We've been styling dogs and their humans since 2005. And no matter what size your dog is, we can give your best friend the bark and roll look that will make them stand out from the rest of the pack.
Vegas Rock Dog has a fantastic collection of tank tops, dresses, sweaters, jackets, collars, and ties for your dog.
And for you, the owner, there are rock and roll tanks and tees and great accessories. Wearing Vegas Rock Dog makes you look and feel like a rock star. And that's why everyone loves our gear, including Hollywood celebrities.
So grab your leash and go to vegasrockdog.com or find us on Twitter and Facebook at Vegas Rock Dog.
Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. I'm Sam. I'm your host. I'm known as the queen of rock and roll dogs. And earlier on in the show, we were talking about our night out at our friend's house, Pam and Eddie's. And Pam just sent me this picture, and I don't think you've seen this, Jim.
What the heck?
So Jim was asleep outside while we were all chit-chatting and eating. And Pam and Eddie's newest little dog that they adopted is Buttercup, and she is climbing up on Jim like
she slept with me most of the night.
She did. She's climbing up on Jim like he's a mountain. Like, this is my human. I own him. Oh, and she's a cute little thing. Oh, look, you didn't see this one either, did you?
She's a good dog.
She's a very sweet dog.
Oh, yeah, there she is with me there. She liked me a lot.
She's very sweet. She's a very sweet dog.
I think she would have come home with me.
There's nothing better than having a little get-together with friends and dogs or cats or whatever you love, what animal you love, but it's great because...
I don't think cats like to take people on as visitors.
Siobhan's cat does. Siobhan's cat's taken over the house. She's taken over everybody. She's got very, very comfortable. So I want to talk about waterless shampoo. What is that, Jim?
Where did that come from?
What do you mean, what did it come from?
Where did that topic fit in?
It's about pets.
You waterless shampoo your pet? I know you do it to yourself. It's like putting dust on your head.
I call it antiquing yourself. I'm talking about dry shampoo. You know what? Sometimes when you use dry shampoo, sometimes you get a bit carried away and you don't see, and you look like you've antiqued yourself, or you're like a ghost. And it's not good. Anyway, so there are some products on the market for pets, and they are calling them waterless shampoos. I don't think they're calling them dry shampoos, but I am talking about dry shampoo. Now, of course, you know, for people, it's come back in fashion again. I've started using dry shampoo because we kind of use it as a convenience, save a little bit of time. Oh, I don't have to shampoo my hair, but you know. Is it great for your pets? I mean, that's what we want to talk about. And now I think the popularity of dry shampoo for people has then influence the pet market as well. So you'll see, foams and waterless shampoos, dry shampoos, however they want to call them. And how does a dry shampoo work? Because it never makes sense, really, does it? Just those two words don't make sense together
Doesn't
anyway.
it have its own water?
No.
Mm. It's dust.
Well, here's
it's like fire extinguisher dust.
Well, this is how it works. I mean, this is the makeup, yeah. So people and pets both have sebaceous glands, and they're attached to the hair follicle. And those sebaceous glands keep the skin healthy. And they produce an oily substance called sebum. Now, sebum's job is to keep the skin healthy, moisturized, shiny, yeah. And what I didn't know, actually, as I was reading up about this, is that sebum also... Oh, did I just say that? That sebum also has natural antibiotic properties, acting as a defense against bacteria. I did not know that. And it does have a smell. As you know, if you haven't washed your hair or your pet in a long time, there's a pong. A pong is a word for smell in England, pongy. And it has a smell, and it is a unique smell, and it's unique to you, and it's a unique smell to your pet as well. Now, these sebaceous glands in your pets are present in large numbers near the paws, back of the neck, the rump, the chin, and the tail area. And what happens is sebum builds up between baths, or in our case, showers. We shower our pets. And this is when you and your pet feel and look greasy. Your hair and your fur is really, really dull. And so if you're trying to save a bit of time like us, or me, I'll spray on some dry shampoo. And this is what some of these products are about that are on the market.
Your sebum.
For pets, yeah. But the longer you leave it between baths, of course, the smellier you get, the smellier your pet gets. And, of course, that sebum is going to build up. So how does dry shampoo work? I mean, or does it? That's the thing. Dry shampoos with a starch or a clay base absorb the excess oil from the skin and hair or the fur, and it makes your hair and your fur appear to have more shine and body. But it doesn't take a genius in my mind to know that's not cleaning my hair, and it's certainly not cleaning your pet's fur. And so we all know the only way to clean excess dirt and oil is to have a bath or a shower. And of course, there are a lot of pollutants on your body and on your pet's fur from walking and being outside, and so that's the only way you can really, really clean your pets. And what needs to happen is you need to bathe regularly in order for the follicle to do its job, which is to maintain that healthy skin. Now, if you overuse these dry powders in your pets, they can affect the antibacterial barrier that we talked about earlier and clogs up the follicle, and it can also affect the growth and of hair and add to the buildup of toxins in your dog. Not good at all. Now, of course, dry shampoo came in decades ago until there was a link that was found in the talc that they were using in the products, the magnesium carbonate, and those horrible artificial fragrances and asbestos, believe it or not. And the link was that it caused cancer. And as I said, dry shampoo is right back in fashion, which I've brought mine in to the studio. And maybe as we run down some of these ingredients.
You could spray some on your hair on the air, and people can hear it coming out and going onto your head.
Okay. And this, I was going to say this flavor. It's not flavor. It's called Light and Breezy Fresh. Here we go.
Why did you do that? Why? What's wrong with you?
It's not a bad smell. But now I'm concerned about the ingredients in this. And I'm going to have Jim see if it correlates to some of the ingredients we're going to talk about later. Ingredients? No, not yet. Well, hang on. I've got a bit more to say before.
The
hang on.
font is very small. I'm not going to
read hang on.
I need a magnifying glass. And I have pretty good eyes.
But it did have me thinking, gosh, what's in our dry shampoo?
Extremely flammable.
Well, we know that. It's in a can, isn't it? But it is back in fashion. And I'm not sure what's in my dry shampoo. Yeah, it is a time saver, I will tell you that. And that's one of the benefits that these pet products are touting. I personally would not put dry shampoo on my dogs, even though I put it on myself. I just know they're not clean.
It's cruelty-free.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Now,
and vegan.
Dogs Naturally online. It's great magazine. They went into this topic in depth about the safety of dry shampoos on pets, and I want to quote some of that article. And this is what they wrote. Since the regulation of talcum powder started in 1973, long time ago, you can be confident that the talc-based dry powders won't contain asbestos now. There is, however, ongoing research to determine if talcum powder still has links to cancer, which we do know now. That's coming to light. While none of these products contained asbestos, some of these ingredients still pose a real risk of exposure to toxic ingredients. And here were some of the examples that they found in these pet dry shampoos or waterless shampoos. And they were linked to cancers. So here we go with the pronouncing of the crazy long names. Here we go. DM hydantoin, a form of slow-releasing formaldehyde preservative. FD&C blue, number 1 artificial colors. There's an artificial fragrance in there. Often contaminated, and these ingredients are often contaminated with a 1,4-dioxane or ethylene oxide, which is a known cancer-causing compound. Is that in my dry shampoo?
No, yours just has like Chernobyl. Chernobyl
Fallout powder.
I can't read all these things. There's none of the things you mentioned are in it.
Okay, here's another one. Ammonium lauryl ether sulfate, polysorbate 20, greenwashing. Greenwashing means that products are made to sound natural. The ones below are often contaminated with 1,4-dioxane or ethylene oxide, again known to cause cancer. Coconut-based surfactants, mild cleansing agents, moisturizing agents linked to immune system toxicity or allergies. Cocamidopropyl betaine and ethanolamines. Ethanolamines are ammonia compounds that are linked to cancer. Oh, goodness me.
I don't see any of those.
Yeah, I know, but these are what they're seeing in these pet products. Yeah, I'm glad they're not in mine. I'm really glad. Cocamide DAA has multiple risks. These ingredients can cause endocrine disruption, cancer, developmental, and reproductive toxicity. So as you can see, and the list is rather long. And they said there's also a scale of, this is a common theme in dry shampoo that's also in traditional dog grooming products, and that's mixing synthetic ingredients linked to health issues with all natural and likely safe ingredients to make the overall product appear natural.
Deceptive.
It's a lot of work, isn't it? I think, I'm so glad that Dogs Naturally, and there are some incredible people in the pet industry that do this research and look into those labels and make it easier for us to find that information. Because, you think about it, I didn't look at my ingredients on my dry shampoo at all. They said there is a scale of purity for ingredients, including extracts and essential oils, and the certified organic steam extracted white ginger extract may cost $60 an ounce, but a less pure white ginger extract may cost 42 cents an ounce. But it may also contain that phenoethanol, a preservative with links to immune system toxicities and allergies. So they're saying you also will get what you pay for in terms of the purity. And this is a general rule. There are ingredients that look great but are mixed with toxic ingredients. Don't overlook those toxic ingredients, and don't be fooled by the greenwashing of products to make them, say natural and have you believing that. Marketing's a big thing. We talk about a lot on the show. We all love bright, shiny packaged things, and marketing can be very, very deceptive. And the takeaway from this is that no dry dog shampoo is going to absorb or repel dirt. It won't remove grease or crime. It will not remove crime.
Why? That's because you watch crime shows.
I do watch a lot of crime shows. It won't remove grease or crime. It doesn't mask sweating. It won't even clean your dog. And this is what dry shampoo will do. This is what they're saying is the safer dry shampoos or powders used correctly will just absorb some of the excess oils, but then that stays on your pet, just as I would if you kept doing dry shampoo every day. Can you imagine? You'd have hair like Phyllis Diller.
You could scrape things from your hair. It would become fertilizer.
It'd be filthy, wouldn't it?
nasty.
I mean, nobody likes dirty hair. They don't. It's a horrible feeling. So you don't want your pets to be in that position either. And so there are lots of things on there. And really, when your pets are exposed to dirt and toxins, a good old bath and a shower is the way to do it. Really, really easy. And think about this as well. You don't want your pets licking their fur with that on their fur.
They're licking whatever fur picked up.
That's right. So you don't need that. You really don't need that. So I thought it was a great article. We'll put the link up for that, and that was Dogs Naturally. There's a lot more to the article itself, but I wanted to pull some little nuggets out of there that would help you understand why it's probably not the best idea. And you know what? Just look for a great dog shampoo, basically. Make sure it's organic, certified organic, and not a lot of ingredients in it. And
they don't really have to have a lot of ingredients.
No, keep them nice and clean. Keep those pets nice and clean. Well, Jim, that hour went rather fast, wouldn't you say?
Quite quickly.
Quite quickly. Next week, I want to talk next week a little bit about mushrooms.
Oh, I saw that somewhere. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, mushrooms. You know how we have these
poison mushrooms.
We have these trends. No, mushrooms for supplementation.
I thought
diet.
you were. Oh, I was going the wrong direction.
Yeah,
I thought you were.
Which we probably will have to cover toxic, poisonous mushrooms as well, because this is not, hey, go in a field and pick up some mushrooms that are going to be great for your dog. That's not what the show is going to be about. This is about how mushrooms are becoming part of supplementation for your pet's diet, and what you need to know if you are interested in adding that to your diet. And of course, with anything you hear on the show, you have to talk to your vet, and never substitute anything you hear on the show as something you should just do straight away. We have a vet who loves the fact that we read a lot and we have questions. I mean, really loves the questions. So she's happy to engage with us and say, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Let's do that. Or, that's not quite the full information about this supplement or adding this into your diet, but here's what you can do. So never, ever substitute anything in the show without talking to your veterinarian first. But yeah, mushrooms are becoming, how fish oil was a big thing. Coconut oil was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was, don't bother giving your pets treats. You can give them some chopped up carrots, a little bit of apples, some blueberries, and then people adopted that. The next thing was, did I say coconut oil? Yeah. Golden paste, turmeric, and now I'm seeing mushrooms become popular.
We have mushroom supplement here at the
Yes,
house.
we do. So I want to talk about that more in depth next week. And it can be something that you can talk to your veterinarian about and see if that's something that will be a good thing to add into your pet's diet. Oh, so before I go, actually, I do have, I'm a big fan of Dr. Karen Becker. You know that. Oh, and if you haven't seen the documentary Pet Fooled, we interviewed Cole Harrington a couple of weeks ago, the director of Pet Fooled. People have a hard time understanding what I'm saying. Fooled as in don't fool me. It's now on Netflix. So if you've got Netflix, go and watch it. It's a great documentary about the commercial pet food industry. And there's a big swing now. It's great. Where people are going, well, why am I not feeding fresh, living food that's good for them? And so there was a great visual that Dr. Becker put up, and it was just 3 healing foods for your pet. And one of them was the golden paste made with turmeric, like we talked about earlier. I'll put that recipe up. We give that to our pets, and you make it with coconut oil, water, freshly ground pepper, and turmeric powder. And what it does, it has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, and it can help manage pain and support the immune system. And that's something you can easily pick up at a health food store. Really easy. Make it up, put it in a jar, in the fridge, away you go. Another thing is bone broth. We've talked about that before. It's a great source of vitamins, minerals, and collagen. And it's got potent healing properties. And it can help relieve joint and stomach pain and support the immune system. And if you have a pet that's not feeling well or has lost a bit of their appetite, trust me, they will love the bone broth, and we make that too. And then this is what prompted me wanting to talk about mushrooms next week, which is the beta-glucans produced by mushrooms can help bolster your pet's immune and digestive system. So we'll go into depth about that next week, and other topics and other fun topics. So it's been great having you here today. Absolutely wonderful. And as I say, we didn't really have a theme, but we went from Chernobyl to mushrooms. Can we make a connection, Jim, somehow?
I wonder if there are mushrooms in Chernobyl and if they have health benefits. I wonder if they combat the cesium and the barium.
Well, I'm not interested in trying them.
Mm.
I don't want to be the guinea pig for that. Well, here we go. It's been great having you on the show. And if you've liked the show and you're listening to it on your smartphone, you can share and tell everybody about the show. And if you're listening on a podcast app, then you can do the same from there as well. We appreciate you sharing our show and getting the word out there. Now, remember, you can help an animal in need. Either rescue, adopt, donate, volunteer, or share their information and rescue your next family member. And replace that word shop with adopt, and be kind to all animals. Thank you, Jim. It's been great. You didn't pass out. It's a wonderful thing.
So far, so good. That was yesterday. That was the past.
Right. Have a great week, everybody. You've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio, where it's all about pets, people, and pop culture. I'm your host, Sam, the queen of rock and roll dogs. And always kiss your pets good morning and good night. And I'll see you next time.
You've been listening to Vegas Rock Dog Radio. Pets, people, pop culture.